I never imagined I'd find myself in the heart of Bel Air, standing in front of Kim Kardashian's iconic mansion. As a young journalist, I had been granted a rare opportunity to interview the queen of reality TV herself. My excitement mingled with nervousness as I approached the enormous front door. Little did I know, this interview would soon become the most haunting experience of my life. The moment I stepped inside, an unsettling chill crawled down my spine. The air seemed dense with an unexplainable heaviness. Kim welcomed me graciously, but her smile appeared somewhat forced, as if she were hiding something beneath her glamour. As we began the interview, I couldn't help but notice strange shadows flickering in the corners of the room. My unease grew with each passing minute, and I struggled to concentrate on the question. Kim seemed oblivious to the eerie presence surrounding us, but I couldn't shake the feeling that we were not alone. I hesitated, wondering whether I should mention anything, but then the lights flickered and momentarily plunged the room into darkness. "Oh, don't worry," Kim said nonchalantly. "It happens all the time. Must be some wiring issue." Trying to dismiss my growing apprehension, I continued the interview, but the unsettling occurrences persisted. Footsteps echoed through the corridors when no one else was around, and objects moved on their own. Kim remained composed, assuring me she was used to these quirks of the mansion. Later that night, as I prepared to leave, Kim suggested I stay overnight to fully experience the luxurious ambiance of her home. Part of me wanted to decline, but curiosity got the better of me and I agreed. In the dark of the night, the mansion took on a different demeanor. I felt a presence watching me, unseen eyes that made me shiver. The walls seemed to whisper ancient secrets, and the portraits on the walls appeared to come to life, their eyes following my every move. As I lay in bed, I heard faint whispers that seemed to grow louder and more agitated. Terrified, I pulled the covers over my head, hoping to drown out the sinister voices. Suddenly, a chilling gust of wind rushed through the room, and I felt icy fingers brush against my skin.
I jumped out of bed, my heart pounding in my chest.
In the dim light, I saw a spectral figure dressed in vintage clothing, standing at the foot of the bed. The ghostly presence wore an expression of sorrow and anger. My voice caught in my throat as I stumbled backward, desperate to escape this nightmarish encounter. Frantically, I searched for Kim, but she was nowhere to be found. I was all alone with the malevolent spirit haunting the mansion. The apparition approached me, its ghastly form almost translucent, and a blood-curdling scream escaped my lips. Suddenly, the room filled with blinding light, and Kim appeared at the doorway, an expression of concern etched on her face.
"Are you all right?"
she asked, seemingly unaware of the specter before me. I saw something, I stammered, trying to catch my breath. "There's something haunting this place." A strange glint flickered in Kim's eyes, and she said calmly, "You're not the first to experience strange occurrences here. It's rumored that this mansion was built on ancient burial grounds." As Kim spoke, the ghostly figure dissipated into thin air. I couldn't believe my eyes. It was as if the spirit had obeyed her command. Feeling both relieved and bewildered, I couldn't help but wonder if Kim was somehow connected to the supernatural events in her own home.
Was she a medium with the ability to communicate with spirits? Or was there something more sinister at play?
The rest of the night passed uneventfully, but I couldn't shake the feeling that there were dark secrets hidden within the walls of Kim Kardashian's mansion. As I left the next morning, I couldn't help but wonder if my encounter had been a warning for those who dared to enter the glamorous facade of her home. From that day on, I've never looked at celebrity mansions the same way. Beneath the glitz and glamour, who knows what otherworldly entities might be lurking, waiting to reveal themselves to those who dare to seek the truth. The haunting of Kim Kardashian's mansion remains an unforgettable and chilling experience, forever etched in my memory.
As a freelance photographer, I was always on the lookout for exclusive gigs that could catapult my career. So when I received a mysterious email from an anonymous source offering me a chance to photograph Kylie Jenner's lavish estate for an exorbitant fee, I couldn't resist. The opportunity to capture the opulence of the youngest Jenner siblings' home seemed too good to be true. Upon arriving at the gated property, I was awestruck by the grandeur of the mansion. The sun was setting, casting an eerie glow over the premises.
As I entered the house, I was greeted by Kylie herself, who wore a welcoming smile. But there was something uncanny about her demeanor. Her eyes held an unexplainable emptiness that sent shivers down my spine. She showed me around the house, leading me through countless rooms filled with extravagant decor. Every inch of the mansion exuded luxury and extravagance. The more I sensed an underlying darkness lurking in the shadows. As I set up my camera in one of the ornate bedrooms, Kylie mentioned nonchalantly, "Sometimes strange things happen in this house. But don't worry, you'll get used to it." Ignoring the uneasy feeling in my gut, I started capturing images of the lavish interiors. But as the night fell, the atmosphere changed drastically. The house seemed to come alive with unsettling sounds, a soft, haunting laughter echoing in the corridors and hushed whispers that sent shivers down my spine. Trying to maintain my professionalism, I continued taking photos, but my hands trembled with each click of the shutter. As I reviewed the images on my camera, I noticed eerie figures lurking in the background, their faces twisted into grotesque masks. It was as if the mansion itself was trying to reveal its sinister secrets through my lens. Curiosity mingled with fear. I decided to explore the history of the house. To my surprise, I found that the mansion had a dark past. Rumors spoke of a tragic incident involving a previous owner's family, which led to their mysterious disappearance. Some even whispered that the mansion was cursed. Determined to confront the truth, I approached Kylie about the unsettling occurrences. Her demeanor changed, and her eyes seemed to glaze over with an unnatural intensity. "There's nothing to worry about," she said in an unnaturally calm voice. "The house just has a mind of its own." My unease deepened, and I resolved to spend a night in the mansion, hoping to capture evidence of the paranormal activity for a sensational story.
As darkness descended, I set up cameras throughout the house, attempting to record any supernatural presence that might manifest.
As the night progressed, I felt an overwhelming sensation of being watched. The air grew thick with an otherworldly presence, and the temperature plummeted, chilling me to the bone. Strange apparitions flitted past my peripheral vision, and I heard distant whispers that seemed to call my name. In the heart of the night, I found myself drawn to a locked room on the upper floor. The door radiated an ominous energy, but an irresistible force compelled me to unlock it. Inside, I discovered an old, dusty mirror that seemed out of place amidst the modern decor. As I stared into the reflection, my own features warped and contorted, revealing a nightmarish version of myself. Fear gripped me, and I tried to tear my gaze away, but an invisible force held me captive. The mirror seemed to be a portal to a sinister realm, and I felt malevolent eyes gazing back at me from the other side. With great effort, I managed to break free from the mirror's grasp, stumbling backward in terror. The house itself seemed to react, walls groaning and furniture shifting on its own. The entities I had glimpsed earlier now materialized before me, haunting and vengeful.
In my desperate attempt to escape, I rushed downstairs, only to find Kylie waiting at the bottom of the staircase, her eyes ablaze with an eerie glow. "You weren't supposed to find out," she whispered, her voice hollow and distant.
I realized then that Kylie was not the true host of the malevolent forces in the mansion. She was merely a conduit for the enigmatic terrors that resided there. The mansion itself was a sentient entity, feeding off the fear and suffering of those who dared to enter its domain. In a frantic bid to flee, I sprinted towards the front door, but it slammed shut before I could reach it. Trapped, I sought refuge in a nearby room, trying to barricade myself against the encroaching horrors. Hours passed in a nightmarish blur, the house tormenting me with visions of my deepest fears. Just as I thought I couldn't bear it any longer, the sun finally rose, and the malevolent entities receded into the shadows. Kylie found me huddled in the corner of the room, my mind fractured by the unearthly ordeal. She seemed unaware of the horrors I had faced, merely stating that I must have had a terrible nightmare. But I knew the truth. Leaving Kylie's mansion, I vowed never to return. The allure of fame and fortune could never justify the inexplicable terror that lurked within those walls. The experience had forever changed me, leaving me haunted by the malevolent spirits of Kylie Jenner's estate, a place where luxury masked unspeakable horrors that no camera could capture.